What's going on, everybody, man? This is your guy, Matt Young, with Vancouver Elite Outreach. Today, we are at Evergreen High School. Just got done doing this fire interview with Jaden and her dad for Black History Month. Man, it's going to be real dope, and I want you guys to check it out. So please go to our YouTube channel at #VEOYoung. Don't forget, please don't forget to leave a comment, a like, and also share, because you guys sharing our content means the world to us, and we want to say thank you in advance. We signing out. What's going on, everybody? My name is Matthew Young. I am the youth advocate at Cascade Middle School. We have today
Jaden Atherton, senior at Evergreen High School.
Jermaine Atherton, her father.
All right. So we're actually doing this interview. This interview is basically for the BSU. I'm not familiar with it, but this will be an awesome topic for us to get. And so I guess we might as well just get started on what we were going to do. We're going to shed some light for not just for you guys' organization that you guys have at Evergreen High School, but also too for Black History Month. I think it's a great opportunity to enlighten people that may not really understand that huge movement, that if it wasn't for the people, forefathers, sisters that did what they did, we wouldn't even be in this position to be doing stuff like this.
Absolutely.
You know, so let's go ahead. I guess let's start with this. Number one question is, how was your childhood?
Oh, I had a really good childhood. I mean, it had its ups and downs, but my dad, he was always there. So just a little backstory, but my dad raised me. My mom, she was in and out of my life, but my stepmom, she's been around since I was two. Since I was two, so that's my mom. But my biological mom, she was just in and out of jail, just recently back in jail. So that relationship started to grow, and then trust broke. So, you know, I had to deal with that, but better myself. But again, my dad was there for me all the time, and he stepped up.
Yourself, how was your childhood, if you don't mind dabbling into that?
You know, for me, it was, I wasn't really exposed to a lot of things. I'm the youngest of five, so I'm the baby. But there, as far as racism and things like that, I do remember one time experience two vivid memories. One in Seattle, we were at church, and the Ku Klux Klan went marching by. And I was born in '73, so that had to be about 77, 78, and it stands out in my mind. And another time, me and my buddies, when Max first hit Portland, we rode Max from one side of the town. It only went out to Gresham or something, so we rode it out as far as we could east, and then hopped on the bus on 82nd, I think it was 82nd Division or Foster, and that was a guy was just sitting at the bus stop just going nigger, and me and my buddies, we really didn't know or what to feel, but as I think about it now, a lot of emotions and things just kind of popped in. I don't know if Jaden remembers this, but as a child, she was playing with some friends that happened to be white, and they were outside, and one of the girls said, "I can't play with you," and this is kind of second story, but a girl asked her, "Why do you have dirt on your face?" And I knew from that point, I had to do something different for her. Right. I had to make sure that, as a parent, you want to shelter your kids and you want to coddle them and protect them. But I also knew that she was going to be exposed to a lot of different things in her life. And being biracial, she's going to have to accept both sides. But most people are going to identify her.
To like get over that pain or that relationship, where are you at with that?
Yeah, so I just kind of, I grew up in church, growing up in church, in the Bible always talks about forgiveness, but that was, been hard for me. Cause
that is hard.
It's like, you want to forgive, but it's like, when a person just hurts you, it's like, and especially, that being your parent.
Right.
And it's like, that's some hurt that you can't really get over, and it takes some time. So I just kind of had to go through that phase with, myself of, because I have parent, like my dad and my stepmom, and you hear at church all the time, forgive, but it was like I had to do it on my own time. So it took, whether it was years, it took years for me to do that. And so I kind of just always knew, like, okay, now I can go down two different pathways. And so I see myself going down this one pathway. I'm like, okay, I could turn into potentially being like my mom, and I don't want to go down that way. So I had to go to path B and say, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to be better. I want to do something to change, to not make my dad happy, to make those around me happy. And so I saw that, and I was like, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to just try to do it all the time.
Well, what do you mean change? Because I think you should share some light on that, because like change wise as did you start showing up to school? Like you should get in depth with that, because some people may not know what that.
Yeah, so
you go deep with that.
So just like a little bit, but like freshman year, I kind of, being in high school, you're with the older kids, you're just like, okay, I want to be like them. I want to do what they're doing, but necessarily that's not the right thing to do,
right.
And especially the way I was raised. But I chose to go hang out with the cool kids and go do what they were doing and all that. And then it was like, kept getting in trouble. I didn't have a phone for, 9 months? I didn't have a phone for 9 months. And so it's like, okay, Jaden, like, what are you doing? Like, for real, like, get it together. Like, I'll have those conversations with myself, like, okay, girl, you need to get together. And it was like just seeing how, like, I'm like hurting my parents, And so I saw that, and I was just like, I can't. So I had to change that real quick. It took some time, but I changed, and I think I've come a long way.
You have.
Yeah, so I think I've come a long way. So, and then like even just like people at school, like my teachers, like I look back at my freshman teachers and like, wow, Jaden, like we're like truly like proud of who you've become, because, and I was just like, dang, I was that bad. But like it's motivation, like for me to hear that. And so I've always wanted to just like keep pushing and pushing to hear like that. Because I've never wanted to be looked like that. I've never wanted to be looked at like, oh, you're like your mom. Or like I've never wanted to be like that. So I saw what I was doing, and I had to change.
Okay. No, that's being at Evergreen. Keep it real. How has your experience been here?
Around it was like my freshman, sophomore year. It was just like, wow, like this is high school. Like my dad always used to say, this is the Jeff of Vancouver. Like this is high school. So I mean, Evergreen has changed drastically, and it's like a good change. And I appreciate like all of our staff members here, and like our new principal, Mr. O. Like he's done so much for our school, and a lot of people are starting to realize that now. But I've noticed it from like when he first got here. I was like, whoa, like he's coming in, like he's doing some things, and so I really just appreciate him for what he's doing for our school, and kind of just changing our name and what it's like. Our motto is like, what's to be the E, like what does that mean to you? And so I really appreciate that, because it's giving everybody, no matter where you come from, a chance to be like, what is your version of be the E?
Okay.
I think my family, like of course like my parents, but like my family just in general, they motivate me, to do a lot, and I just want to do something like, I want to make my family proud. I want to like continue on like our legacy, and I just want to see myself do better, just because of the things that I've had to face in life, and I want to do better, and I just want to keep going to the top.
Okay. Well, it's crazy because right now I have honestly, what are you doing to be the best version of yourself?
Yeah. So my ultimate goal in life, I want to be a teacher.
Okay.
I've always like had a passion for like teaching and like kids. I've always looked up to my teachers and like just adults, and I've taken little pieces of like what I've seen, and just like, and I always knew, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. So I'm just taking like different teaching classes, and like doing like research into teaching, and just different things like that.
Man, go deaf with that, because I don't think you're giving me like, are you going to college? Like,
yeah, I want to go to college. I want to get out of Vancouver. My goal is to get out of Vancouver, Portland. I want to go to HBCU. I feel like, especially coming from Vancouver, it's like I want to be around my people. Like,
okay.
I want to learn my culture on a different level. I want to be surrounded by that, and I just feel like HBCU will really. And I just hear so many like amazing stories, and I'm into YouTube videos. So I always watch YouTube videos on like the college life.
Stumped the yard.
But yeah, and like the HBCU. So I'm just like, and it's like our culture, and I'm just so into like our culture. I mean, and that's why I feel like having a BSU here is just important, because if you're like, if and then again, it comes back, I'm grateful for my parents because I've been taught this, about our culture, and we just, at home. So if students aren't getting that at home, especially students of color, if they're not getting that from home, your next best place is school. And so that's why I feel it's important to have different clubs and different classes. And
when you're not used to it in a different aspect. Like when I went to Texas, like a lot of people thought I was either from Streetport, or when I told them I was from Vancouver, they thought Canada.
Yeah.
And it was different because the culture, like sometimes when you're in Vancouver, they're like, man, you a white black dude. Like I've never knew what that was.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're in the South, it's kind of like you have to portray this like ghetto image, because that's what black is. And I think that that's a false image.
Absolutely.
And so my question for you is, what if you're in that position where you have to face adversity and I guess they're checking your black card?
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I've had to deal with that even like here, because like I have, and especially in middle school was really hard. And so it was like I was too black for the white kids, and I was too white for the black kids. So sorry, I messed that up. I was too black for the white kids and then too white for the black kids. So it was like I was just like, I don't know what you guys want me to do. I'm just me. At the end of the day, I'm just Jaden. That's all I can do. But we went to go visit Tennessee State University, and we went to Clark, Atlanta. We went down south to visit all these schools. And the question was, where are you from? And I would say Washington. And they're like, oh, D.C.? I'm like, no, Vancouver. And then they're like, Canada? I'm like, and so at some point, I just started saying Portland because, and then they're like, there's black people out there. I'm just like, yeah. So, I mean, everybody knows each other, or might be related, but yeah, we're here. And they're just like, oh, okay, I never really knew that. And so I just feel like, when I go down there, the only thing I can do is be me. And people are gonna like you, and people aren't gonna like you. And I'm glad I've experienced that early on, so that as I get older, I won't be set up for failure, and I won't, necessarily get my feelings hurt. But at the end of the day, all I can do is worry about me and be me. And,
right.
People, it's a take it or leave it type situation.
Right on. Well, I'm glad that you're setting yourself up and you've been through that. So when you go through, it's nothing new, but you got the right mindset, and just love the process. While you're down there, love the process, but understand that if you put yourself on, you put everybody else on.
Yeah.
And so so thank you, Dad.
Absolutely.
For your go ahead.
One thing that I challenged her to do when I heard that they were having the BSU, I said, that's great, but what are you going to do? What are you going to leave? What are you going to change? It's not enough just to have the club.
Right.
What are you going to do with the club? What legacy are you going to leave for those that are behind you?
Right.
How are you going to pull them up and prepare them to take over the next? So that's been my challenge for her, and hopefully at the end of this year there will be something that is done. She knows she's a living part of history. My wife is the first African American CFO at Providence Hospital here in Oregon. That's something to be proud of.
Right? No, come on.
She is the second black female African American at the Portland Rose Festival as the president. That's something to be proud of. We, as black people, don't promote ourselves enough because we feel that it's, we're slighted. We're bragging. No, we owe it to those that are behind us.
Right.
To let them know that you too can be a CFO, you too can be a president, you too can be whatever it is that you want to be.
Right.
But be the best version of you.
No, right. Facts.
That it is. So I just want to challenge, all kids, not just black, not just white, but all kids to be the best version of you.
Right.
And as you do that, you will leave a mark for the next generation to come. So.
That's dope. That's dope. All right, well, man, thank you guys so much for your time, man. I think that this is really in-depth. It'd be awesome to put this out and make sure that people see that. I think this is moving forward in a direction that we need to. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.